Yes, that is what is going to happen. But if you recall, when investment falls, there's a reduction in aggregate demand. And as a result, there's a build-up in inventories. So firms will have to lay off some workers because they have to reduce production.
We can't see.
Oh, what I'm saying is not part of the things that I've written. That's why I didn't share the screen. Sorry. What I'm saying is that after the increase in interest rates, investment falls. Investment is a component of aggregate demand. So aggregate demand falls, which means that the total demand will fall short of whatever output that they've already produced. So it's going to lead to a build-up in inventories. They need to sell those ones before they produce more. So it's going to reduce the output that they produce. That's
Hello. Correcto.
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
My network is bad though. Please, can you come again? You're explaining the last part, right?
Yes. My question was why a fall in investment causes a reduction in income? And I am saying that investment is a component of aggregate demand. So when investment falls, aggregate demand will fall. So aggregate demand will fall short of output. The firms will have to sell whatever inventories that is building up before they produce more. So they have to reduce their production. That's why they lay some of the workers off. They will reduce the quantity that they produce, and that's going to cause the income level to fall. Okay, so when you have to add that mechanism. Okay, if about the policy effectiveness, for example, some of the things are statements of facts that if this happens, this will happen. If they need an explanation and you just write that, they will mark you down. So you really need to know the mechanism, what will cause what to do what, to cause what to do what. So you have to pay attention to all those stuffs. Okay. All right. So this is one. Let's look at this question two. For this one, we were not given the two equations. We've been given the components. So this is investment.
And Pareto.
Yes.
Which year, please?
Please, which year is this?
This one, which year? I don't know. You see that the thing wasn't in a PDF form. It was just pictures. So at times I can't even see which one follows which one.
Please give us some time to find the question. It's 2014-2015 exams. Question 2.
20 what? Abdua.
2014-2015.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Welcome.
All right. So these are the components. We have investments negatively related to interest rate. Then money demand. Okay, we have our money demand. Consumption is a function of disposable income. Autonomous tax, government spending, money supply, and then the general price level as well. They are just stating this because you remember when we're talking about the money market, we said we are holding price constant so that the nominal money will exactly be the same as the real money. So MD over P is the same as MD since P is equal to 1. So these are the components. We are to use this to derive the equations. So we will have to find the LM equation and then the IS equation. You see, this is what I was talking about, and then we have to interpret their slopes as well. So after we've been able to find the equations, you have to find the slopes, and then you try to give an interpretation. So let's do that. Let's start with the A. Let's start with the IS equation. Okay. In the product market, Y is equal to the sum of consumption, investment, and government spending. Okay. But if you take the consumption function, it's a function of disposable income. Disposable income is income minus tax. And we're giving autonomous tax. So T is equal to what? 100. So we have 50, then 0.5 is the marginal propensity to consume times Y minus 100. Then we expand this. Okay, when you expand this, we have 0.5 times Y is 0.5 Y. 0.5 times 100 will give us 50. So we'll have minus 50 here. So you see that this 50 will cancel the autonomous consumption of 50. So consumption is only a function of income. So C is equal to 0.5 Y. Then we will go back to the equilibrium condition. So where you see consumption, put 0.5 Y there. Then where you see investment, put the investment function is 400 minus 0.25 R. Then autonomous government spending was given as 175. So you just insert those things here. Then we simplify. If you add 400 to 175, we'll have 575. Then 0.5 Y and then minus 0.25 R. Remember the IS curve, we make Y the subject. So send this 0.5 Y to the left hand side. So we'll have Y minus 0.5 Y is equal to 575 minus 0.25 R. So Y minus 0.5 Y is 0.5 Y. Then we divide through by 0.5. So 575 over 0.5 is 1150. Please verify, okay? Then 0.25 over 0.5 will give us 0.5. So what we have here, Y equals 1150 minus 0.5 R is the IS curve or equation. I hope we understand that.
Yes, please.
All right. Then we go to the LM. Okay, that one we equate money to money demand to supply of money. Okay, the quantity of money was given as 186, and then this was the equation for the demand for money. Okay, for LM equation, we make R the subject in terms of Y. Okay, so let's bring the R to the left hand side and send the other terms to the right hand side. Sorry, so we have our R here. If you bring 186 here, it becomes minus. So minus 150 minus 186. So this is what we have. Then R must stand alone. So we divide through. Okay, so just divide through. R is equal to Y minus 1120. So this is the LM curve equation. Okay, so in case you are not given the equations, this is what you have to do to get your own equations. I didn't even see the part where we're supposed to find the slopes and interpret them. So let's do them here. If you take the LM, okay, we have to differentiate R with respect to Y, changing R over changing Y. This is the slope of the LM curve. Here we have one, right? If you differentiate R with respect to Y, you get exactly one. So what does it mean? It means that if income changes by 1 unit, interest rate will also change by 1 unit. Okay, change in R as a result of a unit change in Y is equal to 1. So it means that if income increases by 1, interest rate will also increase by 1. Are we together? Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, then let's look at the slope for the IS curve, 1 over dy dr, right? 1 over dy dr. So have 1 over here, dy dr is minus 0.5. Okay, minus 0.5. So we have minus 1 over 0.5 is what? Is it 2?
Yes.
So we have what? Minus 2. So here, what this means is that if income increases by 1, interest rate will reduce by 2. Are we together? You see the minus sign. So whenever income increases by 1 unit, interest rate will decrease by 2 units. Here we can compare the slopes, right? Now this one is steeper. You see that the slope for the IS curve is bigger than that of. Don't compare the minus. So that's not what we are looking for. We compare the absolute values. So since 2 is greater than 1, then we will say that the IS curve is steeper than the LM curve. Is that okay? Are we together?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's look at the B part. The B part is saying that what are the equilibrium levels of income and interest rates? Okay, equilibrium levels of income and interest rate. So just like we did for the first one, the first question, we can put the interest rates into the income. Okay, so put LM curve into the IS curve. So we have 1150 minus 0.5 times y minus 1120. Okay, this is the interest rate. Okay, so we put it there, then we expand. Minus 0.5 times y will give us minus 0.5y. Then minus 0.5 times 1120 is 560. So we add 560 to 1150, we get 1710 minus 0.5y. So bring the y to the left hand side. If you bring minus 0.5y here, it becomes positive. You add it to 1, we have 1.5y equals 1710. Then divide through by 1.5. So y star will be equal to 1140. This is equilibrium income. Equilibrium income is 1120. Okay. Sorry, 1140. Now, if you want interest rate is equal to y minus 1120. Now we know y to be 1140. So put your y here. We are getting 20. That's 1140 minus 1120. This is the equilibrium interest rate. Okay, that's the equilibrium interest rate. All right, let's look at the B part. There's an expansionary fiscal policy. Assume the government increases its expenditure by 30 units. How much and in which direction will the IS curve shift? So how much? So what you need to do is that you need to know the change in y as a result of a change in G. Remember the simple Keynesian multiplier. Now, this thing that we have here, it depends on the values that we're giving, the components. Okay. Remember, tax here was autonomous. Assuming tax also depended on income, where we have the big T is equal to T0 and then small ty. Okay, so we have autonomous and then we have the income induced. If you do this, then this side is supposed to be 1 over 1 minus b into bracket 1 minus t, right? So this would have been the Keynesian multiplier. And then if there is import, that one too, if we don't only have autonomous import and there's the marginal propensity to import to, you know what to do there. But per this particular question, there's no small t, there's no small m. We only have the small b, the marginal propensity to consume. So here, change in y as a result of a change in J will be equal to 1 over 1 minus b. Okay, where B is the marginal propensity to consume. We get it from the consumption function. Okay. And the policy is that there's an increase in government spending by 30 units. So change in J is equal to 30. This is what I was talking about. Here you see that we were given the value of J, the initial value of J by 175. Now they are saying that the government spending has increased by 30 units. So here you know the change in J is 30. They could have said now the government spending has increased to 200. It has increased to 200, which means it has increased from 175 to 200. So there, the change in government spending would have been 25. Okay, so this is what I was saying. You have to be careful of the statements. Okay, so if J is increasing by 30 units, the change in Y will be 1 over 1 minus 0.5 times 30, and that will give us 60. So Y is changing by 60 because J is changing by 30. Okay. So now we need to know how this is affecting the IS curve. Okay. The change is what? It's positive 60. So this is the magnitude. The IS curve will shift by 60 units. Where is it shifting to? It's shifting upwards. Okay. Or is it left or right? However you put it, but it's in the positive direction. Okay. So that is how IS is going to change. Okay. Now the II were to find the new IS curve. Okay. Now we don't have this question, but let me add this. Assuming that the increase in government spending by 30 units, okay, change in J is equal to 30, is accompanied by an increase in tax. Tax too has increased by the same 30 units. So we have to find the change in the IS curve and then which direction that the curve will shift to. Remember, we said the multiplier for tax is equal to minus B divided by 1 minus B. I hope you remember this. So if you want to find the change in Y as a result of a change in T, then change in Y will be equal to minus B divided by 1 minus B times the change in tax. Here the change is increased, so 30. Okay, the change here is increased, so 30. So you need to put your B here. B is what? 0.5. So minus 0.5 divided by 0.5. Okay, since 1 minus 0.5 will be 0.5. So here, the multiplier here is going to be 1. So 1 times 30 is what? It's 30, right? Please, I hope my math is okay. So this is going to be what? 30. But remember, it's going to be what? Minus 30. Minus 30. So if you want to find the combined effect on the IS curve, you add the 60 that we got from the increase in government spending to the minus 30 that we had from the increase in tax. But the combined effect is going to be what? 30. So here, IS curve will shift by 30 units. And of course, the total effect is positive. So the shift to is a positive one. But it is possible that you get the change in the IS curve to be positive as a result of a change in J. But then the increase in T will be negative, and that magnitude will be more than this. So the total effect on the IS curve is going to be minus, and that will cause a downward shift in the IS curve. Okay, so in case you have something like that and you want to find a new IS curve, here it was only an increase in government spending. So you see that we only added the 60 to the intersect. Then we had a new IS curve. But if we were to have this increase in tax, you need to subtract the 30. So there's going to be a reduction in the intercept. I hope we understand. Are we together?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so let's just stick to what the question is demanding. So this is going to be the new IS curve. Okay, this is going to be the new IS curve. So I'm sure the next question is asking us to find the new equilibrium income and price after the expansionary fiscal policy. So there's no change in the LM curve. Okay, so you can just pick it and you come and put it in the new IS curve. So you put your R here. Just expand it, go through the same steps that we always go through. You get your Y1 star to be 1180. And be checking this thing. They give you names that you have to give to the various equilibrium values. So please obey them. The initial one was Y0 star, R0 star. Use it like that. The next one was Y1 star, R1 star. So use it so that they know that this is what is answering this particular question. Okay. So if you want to find the new equilibrium income and then equilibrium interest rate, this is what you do. So Y star is 1180. Go and put it into the old LM. You get your interest rate. I didn't do the C part because it's just like the first one that we do. We had to use the diagrams to give an explanation. So if we have to do that, this is the LM, this is the initial IS curve. So you write the values, okay, whatever value that you had initially, write them. Then there was an increase in government spending. That will cause the IS curve to shift upwards. Okay, so what is happening here? There is an increase in income, as we saw, and then there's an increase in interest rates as well. See that initially the interest rate increased by, the interest rate was 20, now it's 60. Okay, so this is what is going to happen. Okay. All right, and then there's a D part, which says that assuming there's an increase in the interest sensitivity of money demand. So assume the interest elasticity of demand for money increases to 0.5. Without deriving a new LM curve, explain how this change will affect the effectiveness of the fiscal policy. So which fiscal policy are they talking about? They are talking about the increase in government spending by 30 units. And now they are saying that assuming there's an increase, just know that if there's an increase in the elasticity of demand, the interest elasticity of money demand, what will happen? Does that make fiscal policy more effective or less effective? See, you need to know these things before you go to NNB2. Before you go there, you know that this will do this, this will do that. So you see the question, you don't think there. You think before you go. So you are just going to use your thoughts to just answer the question. So whenever money demand becomes more interest elastic, what happens to the effectiveness of fiscal policy? Yes, I'm asking. If there's an increase in the interest elasticity of money demand. Hello. Are you with me? Hello.
Yes.
Please, the question again.
Hello. Hello. Yes, can you guys hear me? Hello.
Your question again.
My question is that it is just the question that we have on the screen. There's an increase in interest elasticity of demand for money. And my question is that when it happens like that, what happens to the effectiveness of fiscal policy? Hello. 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 Yes, can you
Yes.
guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
It's breaking.
The line is breaking.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
But is it better now?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is that there's an increase in the interest elasticity of demand for money. So how does that affect the fiscal policy? Does it become more effective or less effective?
More effective
Why?
because interest rates will increase. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Oh, as for interest rates, it will definitely increase. So
But
how
I know it will become more.
how do you bring the interest elasticity of demand for money in?
How do you want?
Come again. My network went off.
We want to relate the increase in the interest elasticity of demand for money to the effectiveness of fiscal policy. And I'm saying that there's an increase in interest elasticity of demand for money. So would the fiscal policy be effective or less effective? And why? Did you guys watch the video?
The video.
Please, it didn't load.
Eh?
It wasn't loading.
Really?
Yes. And I feel
And
like you should have sent us the video directly.
oh, but I gave you the link.
No, we want the video itself.
Like, I should send you the video through what?
WhatsApp.
Through WhatsApp. Like
Yes.
over 100 megabytes of video. Eh? No, it is not possible. Do you know the size of the videos?
Oh, okay, then we'll go and watch there.
And see,
Then please post
I
it on
told you
YouTube
that.
because mine wasn't opening.
Oh, it's supposed to load. You see, I wanted you guys to watch it and relax, get a better understanding before we meet again. Just this question is six marks. So are you willing to just let it go? You just stating that the fiscal policy is going to be effective. It doesn't end anything. And so you have to know how to interpret the effectiveness.
Please, is the effectiveness of the policy how much output will be changed?
Yes. That's it. But we
Yes.
embark on those things just to cause changes in output.
So I want to ask a question. The interest elasticity of demand for money in this case is C2, right?
Come again.
Can you hear me? I'm saying that the interest elasticity of demand for money is C2, like interest rate.
It's C2. And so what's your question?
So I was thinking that, yeah, that's my question. So I'm just asking that question to give my answer.
So please, I don't understand you. See, the policy effectiveness thing, please. You guys should be very careful about those ones. So if you get this algebra and they don't add those things, then you are very lucky. Then you are very, very lucky. And you can see that this is the question that carries the highest mark. All the other ones are 4, 4, 4, 2. I mean, so you really have to. There's even a question here. There's a question down here that there is no mass. It's just graph and intuition. Something like this one, this question 4. It's just graph and intuition. And if you don't really understand the policy effect, there's no way you can answer these ones. Because this one too, we have the interest elasticity of money demand here, and there's interest elasticity of investment. So you need to know how these things affect the monetary and then the fiscal policies. Okay, so I'm entreating you to sit up and go over those things again. You see, like the one that we're discussing, if there's an increase in interest sensitivity of demand for money, then after the increase in government spending, yes, interest rates will go up. But because money demand is very sensitive to changes in interest rates, the increase in interest rate will be very small. And as a result, the fall in investment will be very small. The crowding out there is going to be very small. So the policy will be very effective. It will be more effective than the previous one. Whenever you increase government spending, there's an increase in interest rate. I have explained to you why. Interest rate will go up. That is what causes the crowding out. So when they are embarking on expansionary fiscal policy, their aim is to reduce the crowding out. And the crowding out can be reduced when money demand is more sensitive to interest rate. Okay, so when the interest sensitivity of money demand increases, then fiscal policy becomes more effective. So in the question, there was an increase. So yes, it has to become more effective. And the reason is that there's going to be a reduction in the crowding out. Interest rate won't really go up. You see, when government spending goes up, income will increase. When income increases, demand for money will go up. There will be a disequilibrium in the money market. We have to discourage people from holding money. So increase the interest rate. But because money demand is very sensitive to changes in interest rate, a small increase in interest rate will cause the money demand to fall back and restore equilibrium. So the increase in money in interest rate will be very small, and as a result, investment will fall by a very small margin, and then income will fall by a very small margin, reducing the crowding out. So the fiscal policy becomes more effective. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
All right. Let's look at this one too. Suppose that government spending and money supply are both expected to increase by 500 million in 2015. We have to use IS/LM diagrams to explain the effectiveness of these policies. If one, the interest elasticity of money demand is high. I'm not going to draw the diagrams for you, but I want to give you the intuition. So if there's an increase in
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Please, we didn't see the written answer to the last question.
To which one?
The policy effectiveness.
I will send you the file so you can go to it. I will send it to you on WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so let's take the first one, fiscal policy. There's an increase in government spending by 500 million. How does the interest elasticity of money demand affect it? That's what I just spoke about. So if the interest elasticity of money demand is high, it means that when there's an expansionary fiscal policy, the crowding out will be low. So that policy will be more effective. Fiscal policy will be more effective. But let's look at an expansionary monetary policy. Why do they embark on expansionary monetary policy? So that interest rate will fall, then investment will increase, then income will also increase. But with the A, money demand is very sensitive to changes in interest rate. So after they have